Hello, Astro friends. It's Melanie on the 16th of December 2025 with the Astro Weather for the week starting tomorrow, the 17th, and going until the 23rd. Yeah, what a holiday season! Hope it has been joyous for you, not just all about more to do, more to consume, more to engage in, but actually the Sagittarius spirit of coming from the heart and sharing our heart light. More to come about that, though, which is the end of Sagittarius, Galactic Centre, New Moon on the 19th of December, the main event of this Astro Week, together with Winter Solstice, of course, which also brings Lilith into Sagittarius. These are the three highlights. Let me expand on that a little bit. It will be quite the eventful week, setting the tone for the new lunar cycle, but even already for the new year, together with winter solstice and with Lilith's shift into Sagittarius. So what's up this week? We have already so much Sagittarius energy going on. However, Mars has recently, that just happened on the 14th of December here in Canada, and 15th if you're in Europe and Asia and Africa. That's when Mars entered Capricorn, Australia, of course, as well. Mars is now freshly in Capricorn, while there's so much going on back in Sagittarius. Mars is leading the pack here. And what does that mean? Mars is super strong in Capricorn. It's exalted there. So we get things done. Great time for building, for planning, for organizing, for seeing results and putting energy behind that. That's a very supportive energy. Mars will be in Capricorn until January 23rd. It's a 2-year cycle. In January, we'll have a lot of Capricorn energy, especially around the Cancer Capricorn full moon, which will be the last supermoon in 4 on January 3rd. Then the full moon in Cancer, where the moon is strong and she comes together with Jupiter, will contrast all this Capricorn energy. So it will be a lot about family, about taking care of needs of those in need, of children, of families, of our own needs, and doing something concrete about that. That's the Capricorn side, right? And holding ourselves accountable for even our contribution to the well-being of the human family. Then there'll be also still ongoingly lots of Capricorn energy until I would say the end of Capricorn new moon, which will be on the 18th of January. I'm handling here two calendars, for the old and for the new. Yeah, so the end of Capricorn new moon will in a way also bring closure to that massive Capricorn concentration that we'll have in the first half of January. But I'm getting ahead of myself with Mars in Capricorn. And yeah, so Sagittarius is really very strong. End of Sagittarius has a Sag undertone as well. If you have followed a bit my system with the decanates, the last 10 degrees of Sagittarius have a Sagittarius undertone. The first 10 degrees of Capricorn have a Capricorn undertone. So this is quite the integrity point transition, which comes in so many ways. The winter solstice energy here from Sagittarius to Capricorn, where all the vision, the trust, the understanding is being also manifested. This is also where faith, which is also like the timing of Christmas and the birth of Jesus Christ, when faith and trust are manifesting in a human body, right? So it works in so many ways, this winter solstice point. It's also integrity in terms of what we know, what we understand. We need to do something about it, manifest it, walking our talk, being in integrity, showing up, not just talking. So But the Sagittarius is still super strong, and this is literally the end of Sag, is also in a projection into beyond our solar system. We reach the heart of the Milky Way galaxy. The Galactic Centre is, from Earth perspective, end of Sagittarius, and this is where the sun crosses that in our calendar on December 16th to 18th, so literally also this week. And this is also where the end of Sagittarius new moon falls this year. So that's why I also call it a galactic new moon. So it is really also moving with our heart light, bringing the light into darkness, and inspiring others, and sharing the light. And yeah, so traveling also through this darkest time of the year, the longest nights, the shortest days, with our heart light, and carrying that into the into the winter, right? So we have, as I said, also a winter solstice. Lilith shifts from Scorpio, where she has been since end of March. Sorry, Lilith has been in Scorpio, yes, since end of March, and she will go into Sagittarius again for the next 9 months. Lilith has a 9-year cycle, and it's 9 months in a sign. What is Lilith? Lots of you are aware of it. She is called the archetype of the wild woman. Wild woman is not necessarily as a reaction or as a stereotype. I wouldn't consider her that way, but rather the unconditioned self, rewilding ourselves, meaning also shedding layers, especially with the Scorpio Lilith, of old conditioning. And a lot of that would have happened this year, Lilith in Scorpio, together also with the Chinese or lunar year of the wood snake, very parallel, right? Releasing a lot of old conditioning, including also with the last phase of Saturn and Neptune in Pisces in this lunar year, right? And both have already freshly entered Aries in the summer, and will fully enter Aries end of January, mid-February, and align on February 20th. That will be shortly after the Lunar New Year, which will be, let me just go into that here quickly. The Lunar New Year will be on February 17th, which is the new moon in Aquarius, and typically it's the second new moon after winter solstice. So this year relatively late, because the new moon on the 19th would be just before winter solstice. So anyway, that Lunar New Year with the 17th of February will catalyze a lot. It will be also in parallel with Lilith in Sag, will be the year of the fire horse, and Lilith will be in Sagittarius during that time. So a lot of movement, a lot of mobilization, a lot of momentum. Definitely not a boring year. A lot going on. Standing up also for what we value, what is important to us. Get going is quite a motto for the fire horse, right? And what's your motor? What is your motivation? And yeah, horse energy. I haven't researched too much into that. It's a 12-year cycle, so everybody who has is now a multiple, is 12 years old or a multiple of 12, will have also their return of the horse year. Anyway, Sagittarius, of course, being also the archer on the horse, so being a lot, having also that connection between animal, human, and spirit. That is very much a Sagittarius theme, which is very strong now, and can be also shamanic energy, right? So connecting to the inner animal, to the power animal, and bringing the divine spirit into the heart, right? And the heart is the alchemist of the body and spirit. Yeah, so that Sagittarius new moon is strong. Lilith enters Sag, as I said, right? So that will be just after that. So the rewilding with Lilith and Sag versus with Scorpio is will be not so much about shedding the old, but it will be about moving forward, right? So having courage, having being in our heart, and let our heart be in charge and carry us, right, through its life is an adventure. This is Lilith and Sag, right? So going out on an adventure is very apropos Lilith and Sag. Then what else do we have this week? Let me just go to my calendar here. We have now, as I said, the last 10 days of Sag have Sag undertone. The first 10 days of Capricorn undertone. Then we have Venus end of Sag will square Saturn end of Pisces on the 20th, and she will also square Neptune on the 23rd. This is here is the square, right? So we see the square from the new moon perspective. Venus will be following that square, which the new moon also has. So let's look into that from a Venus perspective, but from the new moon, all over energy. This is very mutable energy. End of Pisces, double Pisces, end of Sag, double Sag. Mutable is super strong right now. Lots of energy is moving and shifting, and also it's a very spiritual energy, a very can be a very religious energy as well. Of course, we've seen the tragic attacks here on Bondi Beach. That's not the idea of that momentum and that religious fervor, or anti-religious in this case, rather also activated by Mars, end of Sag. Now we have Lilith, then we have Venus. So Venus is all about love, it's about attraction. So what and whom do we attract with our vibration, and also how do we release the old vibrations with love? That's a big one, right? So if you say, well, none of this religious stuff that's going on right now in the solstice, Christmas, and various holidays ways, that you're not into it, it is also expressions. These are all expressions of the outgoing Pisces age. Who knows whether these traditions will make it over into the Aquarius age. So celebrating or sending love to all these expressions of the divine that have just taken all these various forms, and sending blessings rather than going one path versus another path. It's all about spirit, it's all about light, right? It's all about light returning, has different names, has different expressions, and we're celebrating that in so many ways. Then, it can be also a time with all the Sag Pisces of what I experienced lately, right? Being out and about so much, having real fun and joyful experiences with friends, with music, in this whole holiday spirit, and and being moved and moving and moving the energy. This is also a wonderful time for anything musical, as I said, and for dancing and for joy, right? For generating good energy. And we have, as I said, Venus will square Saturn on the 20th, and she'll square Neptune on the 23rd. Venus square Saturn is per se, can be a kind of a difficult energy when it comes to human relations, to relationships in general, to attraction. Maybe something just doesn't work out, or it's there's a no, right? But the no can also be a wise response, and can also prove to be actually better anyway. In hindsight, that's typically Saturn, right? So what doesn't come to you with this Venus Saturn dynamic might not be meant for you anyway, right? So might be actually a relief, and we could see that when Venus squares Neptune already 3 days later, or it could be a delayed effect, right? So Venus square Neptune can be very idealistic, but it can also take us out of a certain bubble where we have believed in something that's too good to be true, and it's called the disillusionment. But that's also it can be helpful actually, right? And so Venus will then enter Capricorn on the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, and that's a beautiful phase until mid-January, or how long is that? How long is she in Capricorn? Um, don't have it here, but until January 17th, just before, right to that. Wait a minute, 17th, around that time. I don't see it in the new calendar, but it will be until mid-January. She will be in Capricorn, so a perfect time for the traditions, right? So to bring our love also into integrity and to honor traditions, to honor the elders, and maybe really enjoying also getting going with our plans and our projects for the new year also, right? That's Venus in Capricorn. And being realistic, being grounded, the Sagittarius Venus or energy in general can be kind of can be too much of a good thing, overreach, and Capricorn says, what has priority, right? So maybe also like meeting people who are really the most important ones for you in your life. And time is an important factor, and aging is an important factor for Capricorn, aging well or meeting with friends, with loved ones whose the relationship with whom has passed the test of time, right? And we have then Venus entering Capricorn, as I said, right? So I want to say go back a little bit to Lilith and a little review here, because Lilith has been in opposition with Uranus. You still see it in the new moon chart, but she's moving out of it, right? As she goes into Sag, she goes out of this opposition while Uranus goes a little bit back into Taurus. So that's been a very strong one in the last week. And that could have been also quite a wild and crazy energy in some regards, but maybe a very joyful one for you as well with Uranus in Taurus. So basically also experimenting with different things that please your senses and bring you joy. And Lilith in Scorpio would have said, yeah, this is magical, this is really deep for me, and it has a transformational effect on you, and it can decondition you from old ways of, maybe from a Scorpio side, of being in shame or being hiding, whatever it was. So coming out of the closet is a classic Venus-Uranus dynamic, right, in so many ways. And then let's look at the moon for this week. We're having currently the moon in Scorpio still. I must say it's been such a perfect timing for me to watch that video that I got from the library. Christmas Carol is like older one, but excellently presented. Scrooge was excellently portrayed by Patrick Stewart, and it was perfect. The Capricorn Mars, the Scrooge also, and the moon in Scorpio, right? So deep transformational experiences through being confronted with soul and with soul projections, as I see also the Christmas of the past, of the present, of the future, soul projections. And yeah, powerful and really deep, and of course well-known story, but I watched that last night, so it was perfect for the Scorpio moon and dark moon now too. So Scorpio moon will be on until she goes into Sag. She goes over the Phoenix point on tomorrow the 17th at 8:38 p.m. So we'll have AM, sorry. Okay, AM, yeah. So we'll have today Moon in Scorpio still. Tomorrow she enters Sag and prepares for that new moon in Sag. So it will be a dark moon, dark before new moon in Sag before entering before that new moon that will be exact at 8 sorry 5:43 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 19th. And so that dark moon, where she also goes through the Galactic Center in the end, will be a really powerful journey to come back to our truth, come back to our heart, and also release that passing cycle pre-solstice, maybe release more of the previous year, even of the current year, and slowly stepping into the solstice energy. But really following the inner light, the light of inner guidance, of intuition, of trust, and of synchronicities and miracles. That's also beautiful Sagittarius Pisces energy, right? And she will be in Sag only until shortly after the new moon. So at 8:09 p.m. on the 19th, as far as I can read it right now with the light. Uh, After 8 o'clock, she will enter Capricorn, and we'll have a Capricorn weekend, last weekend before Christmas, and winter solstice weekend. And will be also then the freshly waxing new moon, the sliver of young moon with the winter solstice. So Capricorn moon, very solid, very pragmatic, but it can also make things kind of heavy and serious, right? So as the energy shifts from Sagittarius with winter solstice as well, which will be, by the way, exactly at 7:00. Where's my winter solstice chart? Is also here at 7:05 a.m. on the 21st this year. And you can see, as I show you here, the winter solstice chart, more energy going into Capricorn, right? Having then the sun, Mars, of course, already, and then also the moon, freshly waxing moon in Capricorn. So, yeah, traditions, right? And priorities are keywords. And Capricorn says, yeah, keep it short, keep it sweet, what matters most, and it's quality over quantity, right? And so rock solid energy. And then, as I said, the moon will be in Capricorn until Monday the 22nd at 7:52 a.m. in the morning. I just see it's a friend's birthday, and she was born also with the Aquarius, waxing Aquarius moon. So that's interesting. So she was born on 22nd, sun in Capricorn, moon in Aquarius, just like on that day as well. And so if that happens to you, it happens once every 12-ish years, right? Because it's the lunar cycle through the 12 signs of the zodiac that has to match your solar. And then you have your soul lunar birthday. You have the birthday solar wise, but also the lunar return of the year, of the month, right? On that same birthday. Anyway, this is my friend, a little excursion here and a little example on that note. So the moon will be in Aquarius on Monday almost all day, and on Tuesday, that's the end of our Astro Week. And Aquarius is she has to go through Pluto, right? Through the connection with Pluto, which will happen on the 22nd in the afternoon, 12:37 or something. And so that can also show us where the future can take us, right? So it's like visions for the future is Aquarius. Capricorn is a lot about the past, is about history, is about tradition. So that juncture of Capricorn Aquarius has a lot to do with this historic slash future juncture. That's where Pluto is now. And when the moon passes Pluto, which happens once a month, we will also get more we can tune into the essence of what the future represents, right? So what is it? What does it mean with Pluto in Aquarius? Where is our community? Where is do we collaborate? How do we contribute to a better world? Or are we concerned about takeovers of technological power, especially technocracy? Can be very much an expression of Pluto in Aquarius, which is already taking hold. So how do we deal with all that? And do we embrace it? Or are we feeling disempowered? Or are we, connecting better that way through all the technology, but not letting it use us, right? And it is also about friendship. So it's all about soul friendships, like it, and kinship with other humans, whether they are friends, whether they're family, whether they're uh, bosses, whatever, right? So it's beyond all these hierarchies and traditions. There's just a human connection with people, soul to soul. That's also apropos Pluto in Aquarius, and the moon can bring that out. And yeah, so this is it for the Astro Week here via video. Of course, I'm getting busy with becoming a busy elf here with writing articles for the various shifts, for the various events, especially for the Galactic New Moon and also the Lilith going into Sagittarius and winter solstice. And then Venus going to Capricorn. You find all those on my blog, and which I link below. And of course, you're most welcome to still take me up on my holiday offer, which goes until the 22nd of December. And that's for astrology sessions in person in Victoria or online. You can save 22% if you treat yourself, or you can treat somebody else and get 33% off, or you can even do a 2-for-1. And so get in touch if that interests you, and if you could use a gift certificate as such, and we can arrange that. I wish you well, wish you a beautiful Galactic New Moon / Solstice week, and you can see me here again next week just before Christmas. Have a beautiful one. Bye.